And we're back, Ms. Danae. We finally made it
Yay!
happen. Yay!
I'm so happy to be here. I have to thank you, Leo, because you've been going strong for 3 hours. So you have amazing stamina and energy, and it's awesome to see you do what you do. And when I
Thank
was late, I was like, oh Lord, he's gonna hang up on us and we're not gonna get to talk. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Um, Tip, if you guys use Be Live, you should use it in Chrome, not Safari. I think Safari ruined our game. So
Yes,
I
yes,
made
yes.
it.
I should have actually I should have said that actually. I forgot to mention because yeah, it doesn't work on Safari. You have to use Firefox or Chrome for this thing.
Yeah, to be honest, guys, you should probably use Chrome for most everything. And why I didn't, I don't know. But
Yeah, exactly. So now you know. Now you know.
yes,
So Ms. Danae, thank you so much for hanging in there. Thank you so much for making the time. Tell people your story. Tell them about yourself.
it's such a good event. So thank you so much for having me. Well, I know it's kind of getting late in the afternoon, so I'll try to keep it brief and keep you guys entertained and bring you some value. So I'm open book. You ask me anything you want. But my background story is I actually was a solo agent first, and then I joined a team and was a buyer's agent. And then I was operations director for that team. And I was basically in management, running the systems behind the scenes. And then since then, I've left that team and started my own team. So I feel like I've worn a lot of hats in the real estate sales side of things. And here I am today. I have a team of 4 people.
Wow.
We run as a true team. We are true business partners. One thing I learned from my previous team is some teams are run kind of like the master teacher and then all these minions below them, and you basically get the privilege of standing next to them and using their logo. And that's not how I wanted to run my team. I wanted to truly bring value to people and be true business partners with them and equals. And it's been a fun journey. So we're
I
in
love
hyper growth mode, just going bigger, bigger every quarter that goes by.
it. Yeah.
So that's my background right now.
And
Yeah.
congratulations with your accolades. I mean, can you just share? I mean, I think you were the top 2%. I mean, just share with people some perspective of who you are because, interesting thing is that we met like what, 10 years ago or something, right? I think 10 years ago
Yeah.
we met. You were doing some marketing, I think, with your
Yeah.
with you guys or other companies. So it's just like this industry is so small. So it's just awesome to see. I met you then, and then like where you're at now. I mean, just it's very inspiring. So just share with like some of the accolades that you've been able to
Yeah,
achieve.
so well, as far as statistics go, I had this goal. I looked up how many agents in Orange County. I'm in Orange County, California. Took over 30 listings. And the reason I did that is because I was in a lot of coaching circles with people all over the country. And I was hearing about these mega teams that were doing, 400 deals a year and 500 deals a year. And I just wasn't seeing that in Orange County. And so I looked, and there's less than 30 people who
Wow.
took 30 listings in Orange County. So the listing side is really where I wanted to focus. And it might be price point, but I think a lot of it is just hustle. I think a lot of people are comfortable doing 3-4 deals a year, so they are doing 3-4 deals a year. And I think in Nebraska, if you have to do 50 deals to feed your family, you're going to do 50 deals. So that kind of got my mindset thinking differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I am top 2% in Orange County right now, which
Wow.
means 98% of people didn't work as hard as I do. I don't think I'm smarter, faster, bigger, better. I just think it's straight picking up the phone and making the calls. And for my company, we're in New York, Miami, Houston, and California. So it's not quite national, but a few states. I'm top 8% there. But the reason that's such a big deal to me is because most of my coworkers are on the show $1 million listing. So they're hitting big listings out of the park. So if they do one sale, I've got to do 20 to catch up. And so be top 8% with them is pretty cool too. So
That's very cool. Talk
lots
to
of
people.
room for improvement.
Yeah, talk to people about what are your top lead sources today. Like, what do you do on a daily basis? Like, what?
Yeah, so I was happy to share this with you guys because my business before COVID was a ton based on open house. And the reason being is because I grew up in Redlands. I think most people on this call are Southern California, but I grew up in Redlands, about an hour and a half to an hour from where we are now. So I didn't really have past clients and sphere and friends and family here to rely on or call. So very much like a newer agent, even though I wasn't new, I was new to the area. So open house was always my number one lead source. And so when we can't hold open houses or public open houses, and like, how are we going to meet people, like getting them to come to us? Because I don't necessarily like, well, let me back up. So there's basically two kinds of marketing. There's the kind where you send out the postcard, you push out the Facebook post, and you wait for people to call you. And I didn't like that. I want people to come to me, which is why open house was such a good thing for me. So my pivot in all of this is I really started to put some content online, and I'm brand new in it just because the, COVID lockdown is pretty new. But basically what I'm doing is I'm interviewing people. And I think when I interview people, it does two things. One is it shows my personality, and I will attract my tribe. Like, either they will like me or they won't, but they'll see me and they'll get to know me. They see how I dress, they see how I talk, they see how I act, and they'll associate with me and like me. So I'm just trying to find my tribe. And two is I'm bringing a lot of content and a lot of value. So what I'm doing is I'm interviewing someone on Facebook Live every Thursday at 4 p.m. So far, my guests have been mortgage lenders. We did a talk on what is a reverse mortgage. We did a talk on what is forbearance. How does that affect you? Last week I did a fun one. I interviewed a real estate agent. She's actually a colleague, but she has like this really cool listing. It's picture, instead of a golf course and then a bunch of homes around the golf course, it's a racetrack, like literally race your cars, and then homes around a racetrack. So we did this Facebook Live. I'm like, hey, Misty and Cindy, tell me about your listing. It's their listing. It's not mine. So it doesn't necessarily help me sell real estate, although I could represent the buyer.
Yeah.
But it's just getting content out. And so that video got something like 400 views. And I was getting messages from people who don't know me, who now were like reaching out, connecting with me on social media. So that's kind of my replacement for the open house.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. So you're pivoting to more interview style on social media. Yeah, I love that. That's very creative.
You gotta bring content and deliver value, because I think a lot of people just pump out a bunch of photos of themselves, and that's not helping anybody. So some people will find it interesting. They might think you're pretty or might like your dress or whatever, but it's not really going to get people to come back for more and more and more.
That's intentional.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm interviewing a realtor in Phoenix, Arizona, and she has a bunch of Californians moving there. And I'm going to ask her, like, why are people moving there? Like, what's your real estate look like? How much your house is there? What's your property taxes there? And we're just going to have a chat. We're just going to make it fun and get the content out there. And I'll send an email to my database before, just letting them know, like, hey, if you guys are curious about the Phoenix market, I've got Sabrina on the phone or on the, Facebook. Yeah. So
collaborate and network. Yeah, and it creates business both ways. Ms. Danae, what do you? I mean, every time I've ever talked to you, and even back then when I met you, you've always had such an awesome personality and like energy about you. Is there anything in particular that you do specifically to harness the mindset that you have right now? Do you read a particular type of book? Like, what's your drive?
So I would say the first thing is just my philosophy. I say this to my team all the time, and I say it to my clients as well. And I genuinely mean this. I believe that everybody lives somewhere, right? And life is always changing, which therefore means real estate needs are subject to change. So my job as a real estate agent, and again, I tell my clients this, is only to help those who want to be helped. I don't try to sell anybody anything. If I just do good to people and I connect with people and I help them and I talk with them, the dots just magically connect. And I don't just say it, but I really believe it. I don't try to sell anybody anything. I just don't. I always try to do what's best for people, and I try to help them be a true advisor and help them look at the financial picture. So I think it's just really that philosophy more than anything. And then as far as a mindset, I read that a true leadership is just flat out is just somebody that never stops learning. That's it. So I do geek out in podcasts. I listen to probably a couple hours of podcasts a day. Mostly it's not real estate related. Mostly it's mindset, it's leadership, it's marketing techniques, it's sales techniques, just all industry, just basically being a better business owner, not so much being a better real estate agent. you know.
Can you share some of like those podcasts if you don't mind? Like that way our listeners can get like maybe start to
Yeah,
listen.
absolutely. I'll tell you one that I'm going through right now, which I highly recommend. Seth Godin, he's a marketing
Oh yeah.
guy. He's written a bazillion books. So he did a podcast, and it sounds funny, but he recorded it in 2012. But I would say to still listen to it because it's still very relevant. When I
Wow.
first started it, I was like, it's probably going to be like old and not good, but it's super good. But what it was is he did a 3-day in-person event with a group of people, and he took that 3-day event and broke it into half-hour podcasts. So it's a series of 1 through 17. Once you're done with the 17, there's not going to be any more. It's just like a kind of like a book, right? So you listen to one a day for the next 17 days, and it's so good on marketing. And the reason I like that one is because when you're selling yourself, you are one of 20,000 real estate agents who all charge the same fee, who all have the same, tools available to you. We all have websites, we all have Zillow, we all have, we could put it on a postcard or we could put it on a flyer. So it's really hard to differentiate yourself. And Seth Godin always says that, like think of the Ritz-Carlton and Motel 6. They're both hotels. They both have beds in the room. They both have TVs on the wall. They both have a pool. They both have, probably a gym. So what's the difference in why does Ritz-Carlton get 800 a night and why does Motel 6 get 69 a night? So you have to be able to learn what's your value proposition and what makes you you. And he's so good at just getting you to think on how to present yourself. So that Seth Godin one was pretty awesome.
I wrote that one down. I'm gonna for sure check that one out. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, it's only a 17-part series. Once it's over, you'll have to jump to his regular podcast, but that's a great one. Another one that I like a lot is Tom Ballou, Bilyeu, I believe it is. Yeah, Impact Theory is his blog. It's they're longer episodes. They're a little over an hour, but it's just really about so much is possible. So it has nothing to do with real estate. It's just so much is possible. And he interviews some really cool, interesting people. I love that one. For real estate, I like Bigger Pockets, and I like also it's called The Real Estate Guys radio show. Okay. They've been podcasting since the 80s. They used to do it on the radio before. So they're old guys. They've invested in anything and everything. And the reason I like that is as an agent, you have to have intelligent conversations with your clients. And when you're able to talk about, I know these guys that recently did a project in Belize, like you don't necessarily know them, but you can say you know of their story. Yeah. That's been really helpful too.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing those nuggets. And I think for a lot of people that are going to listen to this, can you share something that they should be doing or implementing, taking action on? Obviously, there's a lot of changes in the market. Yeah. Somebody that maybe is not having the greatest experience in real estate, what should they be focusing on right now?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I'm working on myself. I also coach my team, and I also am a coach for a coaching company. So I'm talking to a lot of agents all the time. And what I have found is since COVID happened, a lot of people went really deep and sideways on projects. And what I mean by that is everyone has gotten into rebuilding their website and cleaning up their database, and they're going to redo their brand and their logo and switch brokerages and like just anything and everything that's project related and fixing your business, it is a good time to do that. But what I've found is people have forgot to focus on the fact that there's only one way to sell a house. The only way to sell a house is to have a conversation. That's it. It's not complicated. So yes, you can have your website perfect and your CRM perfect, but at the end of the day, if you don't talk to anybody, you're never going to sell a house. So I made two things that keep me on track. One is I have a spreadsheet it's not a spreadsheet. I made it in Excel, but what it is, it has numbers 1 through 100 on a piece of paper. That's it. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. When you talk to someone, you cross off the 1. When you talk to someone, you cross off the 2. And you just literally track it by that every single day. And in fact, since we're on Facebook, if you message me, I'll send you a copy of it. You can print it out for yourself, but it's just 1 through 100. I have a little cheat sheet that if you leave a message, you put a slash. If you talk to them and it's a positive conversation, yes, you can call me again. Yes, I'm interested maybe someday. Yes, you can email me listings, whatever. Any positive conversation, you circle it. If it's a hard no, like, nope, I'm never moving to California, I accidentally clicked on Zillow, like it's a hard no, then you put a square. And if you book an appointment, you put an X. So you can draw whatever symbols you want. But what happens is at the end of 100 dials, you get some statistics and you can see. And so that simple little page has really been a big help for me. But even more so is the accountability. So I text my team every single morning and say, what time today will you make your 20 calls? And every single day we have to tell each other what time today we're going to make our 20 calls. And at the end of the day, same thing. How did you do? Did you get your 20 calls? So you don't have to be on a team to do that. Just pick anybody. It doesn't even have to be a real estate agent. It could be your brother, you know, and just be like, hey, text me every morning. So accountability sounds really elementary, but accountability is huge, and just flat out, you got to make your calls. That's it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I have another minute here, but if you could share just what's Danae going to be up to in the next 5 years? What's your vision?
My vision is that I believe the people who do not have systems in place are going to get crushed in the new market. You have to have a system and a process for everything. When you get a listing, you can't just be in your head that you're going to get the photographer and going to get the sign and going to get the lockbox, because you will forget one of the three things. So it has to be systematized. So I feel like build your systems and processes out, because we're going to have to do a lot of volume to keep up and stay relevant. And the only way to do that is with systems. So with or without a team, you could do it, but you got to build out your process.
Love it. And I didn't ask you this question, but what time do you wake up? What time do you wake up?
5:45.
5:45. Love it.
For a walk every day at 6.
And a walk with everybody. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, just like there's a common theme among everybody, right? There's a common.
That's 7 days a week. Once you start, you can't get off. Sometimes you want to sleep in and you can't. It's just built in me now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your time, Danae. Thank you so much for working with the time difference, and even though we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, thanks for understanding the technical with me. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Moving forward, I'm going to make sure I tell everybody Chrome.
I'm going to delete Safari right now.
Yeah, please.
My computer.
I'm going to make sure to tag you on this. So if anybody's out there that wants to reach out to Danae, she's a wealth of knowledge, an extraordinary human being. So go ahead and reach out to her. And I think that somebody actually, I'm just going to answer this question. It says, 20 contacts or 20 calls. That's what they asked you. You said 20.
So I believe you should only track what you can control. The only thing you can control is picking up the phone and making 20 dials. You can't control if they answer or not. So just track that you made 20 dials. And 20 is my personal goal. I know agents whose goal is to call 5 people a day, and I know agents that's goal is to call 150 a day, but mine is 20. So just track what you can control.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Danae. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. I'll see you later. Thank you so
guys.
much. All righty. Bye-bye.